Okay, this is concept number 8, which is box and whisker plots. Now, box and whisker plots, you have done more towards elementary school, maybe a little bit in middle school, but they're really pretty basic. You're just finding the median multiple times in order to make one. So they look very similar to this. Okay, some of them are longer or shorter. These sections can be spread out. Some of them might be really small, but they have this same general shape every single time. When you make them, each of the 4 sections represents 25% of the data. So if you're looking at breaking this into 4 sections, from what we call this whisker, or the minimum value, until where your box starts, that's 25% of your data fits into that region. 25% of your data fits into this beginning part of your box. So from the lower quartile to the median is another 25% of your data. From the median to your upper quartile, 25% of your data fits inside of there. And then again, 25% of your data fits into this upper whisker by your maximum value. So each section is 25%. Now, the length of the box is called the interquartile range. So to find that, the length of your box starts here at the lower quartile and ends at the upper quartile. So to find that interquartile range, or sometimes it's called IQR, you take this upper quartile or the Q3 value and you subtract the lower quartile. It's just the range of the box. So the highest of the box minus the lowest of the box. Then your regular range is your maximum value and your minimum value. So we start with the maximum value and we subtract the minimum value from it. Okay, so that's just your normal range like we've done in the past with mean, median, mode, and range. Okay, highest minus lowest. But if it says interquartile range, you're taking this Q3 value and subtracting the Q1 value from it. Now, let's look at using a box and whisker plot that's already made for you. So this box and whisker plot is already done and made. You just need to answer some questions about it. So what is the range? Now, it just says range, not interquartile. So you are taking the highest value minus the lowest value, which your highest value that we have is a 24.5. The lowest value is 8.5. So you're just subtracting them, which gives us a range of 16. Interquartile range. Remember, that's your highest part of your box minus the lowest part of your box. So I have a 20.25 minus 11.25 gives us an interquartile range of 9. Now, what percent of the data lies below $20.25? So you have to find that on your box and whisker plot. Now that's here, that's your upper quartile, that's your Q3 value. So from here, what percent of the data lies below that? So that's everything here down to the bottom. Now remember, each of these sections has 25%. So I have 25% in this section, 25% here, and another 25% in this section. So I have 3 of those sections below $20.25, which gives us a total of 75%. So 75% of the data lies below that $20.25. Now here, we're going to create a box and whisker plot using the following set of values. So this is the values that you are given. Now remember, when you set this up for box and whisker plots, you have to put them in order from least to greatest first. So you have to remember to reorder them. Occasionally they may be given to you in that order, but most times you're going to have to put them in order yourself. So once you put them in order from least to greatest, you have to start by finding their multiple values that you are going to need. Okay, your minimum value is your lowest value, that's your 6. Maximum value is your highest value, which is a 17. Your range, remember we take the highest minus the lowest, so 17 minus 6, which is 11. your median, which is the number in the middle. So remember, to find the median, easiest thing to do is cross them off back and forth from one end to the other. So when you go back and forth crossing them off, you end up with your 12 in the middle. So that's your median. Now, once you find the median, to find the lower quartile. So here's my median right here, this 12 in the middle. The lower quartile, you're going to find the median again, but only using the numbers below this median. So now I'm just looking at these first 4 numbers. And I'm going to find the median of those. So when you cross these off back and forth, you can only cross off the 6 and the 12, and then you're down to these 2 numbers. So remember, when you have a median with 2 numbers, you have to average those together. So 8 plus 11 divided by 2 is going to give you 9.5. So that's your lower quartile, your Q1 value. Then you find your upper quartile, which is the median again, but of your top numbers. So you go above your median. I don't include that median in this. So I'm crossing these off back and forth. I end up with 14 and 15, so I average them together. 14 plus 15 divided by 2 is 14.5. Then last value that you need to construct it is an interquartile range. Remember, that's taking your Q3 or your upper quartile and subtracting your lower quartile from it. So 14.5 minus 9.5 gives us an interquartile range, or IQR, of 5. Now we're going to use this information to actually make the box and whisker plot. So to make the box and whisker plot, your lowest and your highest value get a dot. Your quartiles all get a line. So I have a dot at 6 because that was my lowest value. I have a dot at 17 because that was my highest value. And then I'm going to draw a vertical line at 9.5 for my Q1, or my lower quartile. I'm going to draw a vertical line at 12 for my median. And I'm going to draw a vertical line at 14.5 for my upper quartile. So your 3 quartiles all get a vertical line. Smallest and largest get a dot. Now these vertical lines, I'm going to connect and form a rectangle around them. That's your box portion of it. That's the box, and these are your whiskers. So that's the box and whisker part. That's why it's called that. Okay, so once you find all of these values, you then just have to place them on that number line. Now, this section also looks at stem and leaf plots. Stem and leaf plots are generally pretty simple. They're just set up in a different manner than what you're used to. So it's taking a set of data, just like we did with the box and whisker plots, but now I'm kind of making it into a T-chart, where I have the stem of it, which is the beginning of the number, and I have the leaf portion, which is the end of the number. So it's just a different way of setting up your data. Okay? Now, they will always give you a key with a stem and leaf plot. If you're creating a stem and leaf plot, you have to make a key. Okay? So this 5 with a vertical bar 6 means that that value is a 56. So this 5 is your stem, this 6 is your leaf. So when I put those together, that makes the number 56. So here, if we look at our stem and leaf plot, to just organize the data, I have a 56 because, again, this is my stem. These are my leaves. So I have a 5 and a 6, makes that a 56. This stem is a 6. I have 3 different leaves for part of it. So I have a 67, another 67, and a 69. So those are your 3 values for your stem of a 6. Then for your stem of a 7, I have a 72, 74, 77, 77, 78. Okay, and you can see that same as with the 80s and the 90s. Okay, so these are the actual values that are listed out, so that you can see what this stem and leaf is actually showing you. Okay. Again, make sure you look at what the key says. There will be a key given to you if the stem and leaf plot is given to you. Okay, so it's very important to look at that key so you make sure that you are reading the numbers correctly. So now we're going to take a stem and leaf plot and find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. Now remember, to find the mean, you're just simply adding them all together and dividing by how many there are. So you're going to have to add 40 plus 49 plus 53 plus 55 plus 55, and go down the whole way through and add those together. That gives you a total of 916. And then if we count, there were 13 different values. So we just divide. The total divided by how many there are gives you a mean of 70.46. Median is your number in the middle. So remember, and once you have them written out from your mean, just cross them off back and forth until you get to the middle number. So we end up with a middle number of 76. Mode is the number that occurs the most. So if you look at your set of data, we actually have two modes here. Okay, I have a 55 that shows up twice, and I also have an 87 that shows up twice. So since they both show up the same amount of times, they're both the mode. It's okay to have more than one mode. Then remember range. You are taking your largest number and subtracting your smallest number from it. So our largest number was a 99. Our smallest number was 40. So 99 minus 40 gives us 59 for our range. That's really about it for stem and leaf. Okay, once you have it set up, you can find mean, median, mode, and range from it. That's the general basis of it. Just make sure that you're paying attention to the key for them as to what they mean. If you need to make your own stem and leaf, you have to provide a key with it. All right, again, that was your concept number 8, which is box and whisker plots and stem and leaf plots.